Today we're going to talk about scholarly writing and documentation. Scholarly writing is how practitioners, researchers, and scholars in any field communicate. Scholarly writing is done in a systematic way. We follow a specific outline for the 5 chapters of the thesis. We write in third person using the vocabulary of our professional field. We lead our readers through a logical argument by presenting our research-informed ideas and backing these up with evidence from both primary and secondary sources from the existing literature and from the data we uncover in our own original research. We then situate our study within the larger body of scholarly research. The success and legitimacy of scholarly communication through research studies, master's theses, and doctoral dissertation all depends upon accurate documentation. This includes throughout the paper with in-text citations and through well-crafted references at the end of our study. It's critical to know the expected style of citation in your field. In the field of education, we use APA style. APA comes from the American Psychological Association. You can learn more about this style and see multiple examples of in-text and final references from the APA 6th edition guidebook or from the OWL, the Purdue University Online Writing Lab. Let's take a look at just a few examples of in-text citation. Here on this page, we can see there is a line of reasoning presented talking about learners and their own level of information fluency. And then we have several studies that are listed in text that have confirmed the statement made just prior. We also have what's called a signal phrase. Here we are citing Head and Eisenberg, stress the importance of solidifying inquiry and research skills, so on, and then we get to a direct quote, integrating basics from high school into their research repertoire for college and often made few changes. So Head and Eisenberg are responsible for this part of the quote that I've given here. And then, of course, this is the exact page of that quote. Notice also, this as a signal phrase, it tells the reader that what I'm about to read comes from these researchers. So I'm giving them the proper credit. Notice that I end the quotation, then give the page, and then give the final period of the sentence. Here's another example of a signal phrase. Here I'm talking about a researcher named Allen, whose study was done in 2008. Allen stated, and then I give the quote, and then I end the quote with end quotation marks, the exact page, and the final period of the sentence. It's really important to do this because it signals to our readers that we are acknowledging that this is information that we have taken from another scholar. Also, our reference pages. Of course, our references will be listed in alphabetical order. Here are just 2 references from a certain reference page. And I pulled these specifically to show you how to cite references when you have more than one author. So each of these has 2 authors. And so if I were to cite them here in my reference page, obviously I am using an ampersand in between them on the reference list. Also, if I were going to cite them in text, I would finish out my quote and then give the in-text reference using the ampersand again. But if I chose to write instead using a signal phrase where I would list the authors at the beginning of the sentence, I would then switch over and use the word and. These little tips can all be found in your APA guidebook. Now, as far as generating citations, this is something that gives people lots of headaches, but it really doesn't need to. There are many different automated generators online. These are just a few. Some generators can even be add-ons in Chrome. However, you do need to be aware that many of the free generators aren't always accurate. Among these on the screen, Noodle Tools, RefWorks, and the paid version of EasyBib tend to be the best. EndNote also has great reviews but can be really expensive. We're going to mention just one of these, and that's Noodle Tools. Noodle Tools is very inexpensive. It's used by many schools, and for individuals who want a subscription, you can get that for as low as $15. Noodle Tools has the added benefit of making digital notes and outlines that are synced up to the correct sources. Many of the databases that we use now export the citations directly to our generator service. You can check to see if your school district already uses a citation generation service. The beauty of a tool like that, as I said, is that you can export your references directly. So as I made my citations here in Noodle Tools, it not only put them in the proper format, but it also alphabetized them for me. I can also make digital note cards. Here I can see that I can put in quotes, my own thinking, and it's also going to connect it directly to the proper source. This is really important because most cases of plagiarism don't come from intentional cheating, they simply come from bad documentation. In Noodle Tools, then note cards can be made into a simple outline, dragged and dropped, and then exported, making it really simple. But that's just one case of a generator. Whether you use a citation generator or not, it's really important to have a system for making notes and connecting these to the proper source. Most cases of plagiarism, as I said, come from sloppy citation, not intentional cheating. Lots of digital systems are out there. You just have to decide what system of note-taking works best for you. Happy documenting!